So back to Stalingrad Pocket 2. We just finished the November 21st through 22nd turn. Lots of dead guys over here, especially Germans. Although you see there's a whole stack of Soviet armor right there, and all three of them are attack factors of 5. That's 15 attack points gone. How did that happen? German armor surrounded it over here and rolled like whatever the result was, like a D5 or D4R5 or D5R5, and they couldn't retreat because of zones of controls. So they had loose steps. All right, there's none of that first zone of control on a retreat, doesn't count. All right, let's see the progress here. Let's see what we've been doing. All right, so over here in the... Man, I wish they would... Okay, so over here in the... Well, this would be the north, actually. So the Russians... They cleared out a lot of these units, or they pushed back and cleared a lot of these units right through here. All right, without really taking a beating themselves. I don't even think there's any step losses in here. So they're pushing forward, which of course is the main line of attack from this side. They've pushed some of these back, had these alert reinforcements come on, and had to shift the 1st Panzer units over here and 1st Panzer units here to fill these gaps. That's a large unit there. That's a decent sized unit. They're okay for mobile infantry. So they're going to break through there eventually. All right. That is in the north, according to that thing right there. All right, here, moving back towards the line a little bit up the river, up the Don. Really no progress in here yet in this area. They've done a little damage, but the favor has been returned. Nothing going on here. These guys moved out and attacked this little... There were on artillery piece and I think an army unit with a defense strength of 2, and they didn't do nothing to us. As a matter of fact, he caused damage to them. Oh, sorry about that. That was right in here. These, like, I'm going to refresh your mind with these determined attack markers. Any German units involved in an attack, whether they're in the stacked or not, they're involved in the same attack, they're all doubled. But for the Soviets, only the stack the marker is on. So that's one advantage for the Germans. The other one is the air markers. You roll a dice, and whatever the weather is, you might get a plus or minus. And the Germans had like 6 plus 1, so they had 7. The Russians only had 2. Now, the Russians have a lot more of those determined attack markers. But like I say, it only works for 1 stack. All right, so moving back, let's start heading towards Stalingrad here. This Soviet unit here, he's kind of cornered here, but I think they'll probably be able to deal with this. There's nothing real powerful in here. Throw a determined attack marker on one of these, and they're called dams. Throw a dam on one of these, and they'll blow somebody up. Now, Stalingrad's a whole different story, because these hexes, they're going to be doubled. The attacker's going to lose. You can see here, these little tiny units are holding off these Russians with no problem because of the artillery. Artillery, so here's something to remember on artillery. They have a range of 4. The Russian Katyusha rockets, when they fire, they get removed from the game for 5 turns, and then they come back. The German Nebelwerfers don't. They're just like regular artillery. So if it's divisional artillery like this, let me find a better example here. This peach-colored unit, if he's firing on a target and one of his peach-colored combat units, like the infantry unit there beside him, is spotting adjacent, then his barrage strength is going to be doubled. And that really helps the Russians because they have 7s and 8s and some 15s for their barrage, or 18s. Yeah, the Katyusha rockets are 18 strength, so if it's divisional, man, that's 36 just for 1 unit firing. All right, well, Stalingrad, so there's nothing going on there. The armored here is too good. Matter of fact, I might be able to pull one of these out to go help some... Turn the camera. Be careful not to flip it over. So one of these armor units right here, I might be able to pull one out to go help somewhere else. However, over here to the southeast, we'll call it the east and the southeast, as you can see, if he doesn't get out of there, he's going to be out of supply on the next turn, because these guys have now cut him off behind. German armor, one thing about it, it's really good. Not much on the defense, but you can see the Russian mechanized stuff is much better than the German mobile stuff is. These guys trying to push him out of here, and they're trying to get through here. They weren't able to get through here last time. So now they'll have to keep that attack going there. They really need those Katyusha rockets back, but like I said, that's 3 more turns away. So not a whole lot of progress over here. Once they clear that out, if he can do something, which supply comes after combat, so he's going to be good through his combat phase. So maybe he can attack back, get somebody out of the way, and get himself back in supply. Let's see. No other new, interesting, or odd rules. The combat chart's interesting on this. So at first I kept thinking like the OCS where you had close, very close, open. Because look, there's 2 lines. Well, that's no. I had to look at it closer. You'll notice that 2 to 1, 3 to 1 are the same column. 4 to 1, 5 to 1. And these aren't very, very grand. You know, you start getting up past here, it starts to get better. And boy, you get up here to 12 plus, and you can, and for the Germans, it's great because their exploit capable units can advance that far. Your Russians, unless they're in, they come out of reserve mode, they're not. They only move into the hex they push the defender out of. Barrage table, nothing spectacular. I did have a 24 plus column roll that caused 2 step losses on one of the Soviet bombardments. So, and it's got a pretty detailed sequence of play too. There's quite a few steps, and although you end up blowing across most of them because you don't like the reaction, if you don't have anybody in reserve mode or whatever, they're not going to do any reaction. And then each turn, you re-roll for your air. And you've got reserve markers, which I haven't used it yet. I haven't found an opportunity yet. If anything, the Germans would be able to, but I can't get any Soviet attacks, and I probably could in the middle if I had some extra forces there. But you have some forces that you deploy sort of anywhere you want along the Russian lines, and I think I put them over here. So it may be over here is where some of these armor units is where I'll put the reserve markers on. Now you can put the reserve markers on any unit, and then in the proper phase they can be used to exploit because they had that reserve marker on them. And you can put reserve markers on artillery too, so keep that in mind when you're playing. More German reinforcements came on here. They're going to help the center. Small stuff. Like I say, the Germans get a butt ton of reinforcements. So I got to assume that some of it is Hoth's, was it the 4th Panzer Army? 4th Panzer that will come up from down here somewhere or over here somewhere and then try to help. All right, so that's the status after the second game turn, the November 21-22 game turn. Russians are starting to push in some points or break. They're not broken out yet, but I got a feeling it might not take much longer to get a hole somewhere and break out. Like I said, they did have the breakout over here. Maybe I should have stacked up some of those extra units over here. All right, bad choice on my part. I thought it was more important to drive through over here, which is working, just not as fast as I'd like. Maybe we could use some of those reserve markers on this next turn. All right, Stalingrad Pocket 2, multi-man. Yeah, okay, I can't look at the small rag and tell you what year it was. I'll post it in the video. Let's get this up so y'all can see what's going on. You know the routine. Like it, subscribe, and hit that notify bell. You'll be up to date every time I shoot one of these. All right, talk to you soon.